Hola Madridistas, welcome to our preview for the Las Palmas game. It's been a super long week already, man. I can't believe it's only Tuesday. There's been a lot of negativity and there's been a lot of hot takes on the internet. Fucking getting tired of reading all of those. There's players coming back from injury and then immediately going back to being injured again. Just a lot of shit to, process as a Real Madrid fan this time around. But let's try to approach this episode with some positivity and pragmatism. That's why we have this man here with us. Talk to us, Farooq.
I mean, come on, you say some positivity and pragmatism. Like, do I look like the person who's gonna say words, man? I mean, come on. You should actually have asked me about the whole positivity thing, man. I mean, I don't do that, man. Honestly, we call a spade, and it is what it is. It's absolute jack shit. But it is what it is, bro. Honestly, like, it is what it is.
So you're
Yeah,
not.
man, bro. It's been a bad game. It was a really bad game. I don't know, but like, does this there's this kind of games that you go into that, you have, the team will dominate and unfortunately they would lose the match and something like that. It's like one of those games, but it's the reverse of that, like we have all the possession in the world, but we're never in control of the game. I don't know if that makes sense. We had all the possession, but we were never in control.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Like at any given moment, we did not seem like we were scoring, and at every single moment, we always there was a chance that we would be licking more goals.
Yeah, bro, that's the thing, man. But as you said, man, it's already been a really long week, so let's just try to look forward to what can happen and what will happen tomorrow. At the Bernabeu. So that's something at least to look forward to. It's against Las Palmas, so it's hopefully at least we can get some you know healing at least. Let's get some healing to get our ones to heal at least, even if it's partially, but at least a victory is always good eventually.
So, okay, yeah, I mean, we should be having a riot at the Bernabeu. Hopefully, score lots of goals. Keep the momentum up or the fan spirits up at least. It's really what we need this game. So, just looking at Las Palmas, man, like they're 15th in the league. But what worries me? Just looking at their past results, they've all of their defeats. They've had four defeats and one win. Their four defeats have come against Girona, Valencia, Sevilla, and they've actually held Sociedad as well. So all of these tough opponents, and they've been able to like basically hold them to at least losses of at least 1-0, and they're not shipping goals. They're tight at the back. A typical La Liga bottom half of the table league team, And at the moment where we're finding it difficult to score goals, feel like this is gonna be another long game. But hopefully not. Hopefully, like the players are just like woken up after that shithouse of a game last week, and we can turn it on.
Yeah, man, actually, that's the thing. For me personally, I've always believed that our season, is always going to be about, what we do in the bigger games. This is what I've always believed because I felt like, with the personnel that Carlo Ancelotti has and, the way he plays them eventually, that's, as they say, the cream will rise to the top. That's what's happening every single game this season. I think the only game we can actually say we played, I think, was against Bilbao, and Bilbao actually did not show up in that game. You understand? That's the thing because when you look at the game against, Atletico Madrid, like people will say what they want to say or what they will not want to say. But I think even in that team, you put Karim Benzema, you put Kylian Mbappe, as long as that was the tactics that was played, we still lose that game. It wasn't a game that was lost because of personnel or something like that. It was a game that was lost because of the information that was given to the players. You understand? And this is the thing, like when you come up against people like Simeone, when you go against people like Pep, when you go against people like Klopp, even now with the likes of Arteta, the likes of Thomas Tuchel, the Julian Nagelsmann, and so on and so forth, they will exploit that. You understand? But the point is, when you come to a game against the Palmas, it's just going to be, huff and puff, maybe a bad game, not a good game, but eventually, Jude will be there, or they will find a way to score, or maybe Rodrigo remembers where the post is located, something like this. Like we will eventually, find a way through. But I totally agree with you in the fact that they're defensively solid. We are not scoring goals. I agree with that. But I just feel like these are the games that actually that we will be able to win because of the personnel we have, not because of we are tactically strong or something like that. But eventually the cream rises to the top, I think.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But I want to like get your opinion. You're someone who loves watching entertaining football. Were you actually entertained by the Atletico game?
Oh, bro, I mean, Atleti were so impressive, man. Holy God, man. I mean, the thing is, when they talk about when a man is down, I mean, Atleti were like, these fuckers are down. We have to keep stabbing them till they bleed to death.
Oh yeah,
Holy God, man. I mean, the point is, the ability to understand that there is a weakness. It's not about it was, Luka Modric was bad or Toni Kroos was good or this was that or no. They understood that Real Madrid plays a midfield diamond or whatever it is, or a Christmas tree or whatever they want to call it, which means you don't have wingers. When you don't have wingers, who are your outputs? It's basically your fullbacks. When you have zero output from the fullbacks, it means that they don't have to. Actually, I think that's Sunaid actually hitting it on the head. I think when you guys were talking about the post match, it's about the fact that when there is no offense, which means that Atleti doesn't have to defend, they be like, yeah, fuck shit, let's just go. You get the point, right? So like when your attack is so blunt, the other team just thinks, okay, like there is nothing to defend, so we just have to move forward.
yeah, man. For me, it's like they could do that. Of course, they were very comfortable on defense. But the thing is when they did attack, it was always with like one, two, maybe max three or four players. And are you telling me like at least there was like five Real Madrid players over there? And is it because of our offense that we conceded? No, man. It's because of individual mistakes and like you said, it's like they exploited our weakness, which is the fullbacks. They put those crosses in, and we're weak aerially, and there's nothing we could do. I
Yeah,
I I feel
of
like in this
course.
game, even if we did manage to pin them back or maybe get a few counterattacks in, they still would have won comfortably because of the individual mistakes.
Actually, while I will agree with you, I will also disagree with you as well. In the sense that the point is this: I think it was for the second goal. You look at the second goal; it was a change. I think it was the second goal or the third goal. I can't. I think it's the second goal.
The second
For
goal,
the second goal,
Griezmann.
yeah, the second goal from Griezmann. It was a change. It was a change from wings to wings. What they know is that we basically empty on the wings. Just exploit that.
Yep,
Samuel Lino was prime Marcelo on Sunday, bro.
bro. Okay.
So I can understand, like the point is okay, we know Cruz lacks physicality. We know that Fede Valverde slept on the goal. Then we go back and we look at the second goal. We talk about, where are the defenders? Alaba was marking, Morata. What the hell was, this guy doing? What's he called?
Rudiger.
Rudiger. He was basically caught in no man's land. He was defending no one in an empty space. Frank Garcia was there. He wasn't sure should he stay with Griezmann, should he, go, pull a bit back and sometimes. So I can understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that a situation created this scenario in the first place.
Correct.
And what situation created that? When you have a narrow formation that has no width, what happens? The other team comes, okay, yeah, let Lino exploit that width. So by exploiting that width, you create a situation like obviously, like the thing is that someone has to make a mistake for someone to score, unless you're going to keep scoring bangers like Cruz is scoring. If everyone plays if all the tactics works in perfection, like no one will score anything, we just watch a 0-0 stalemate game. This is the thing. Someone has to make a mistake for someone to score.
Yep. Can't
So
argue with
that's
that.
that's 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 how it goes. But I mean, everyone knows, my stance on this is that I respect Carlo and I believe he's a really good coach, or rather, he was a really good coach. But the point is, this is not the team for him. We are trying to rebuild, and I don't think Carlo is the person to lead us into the future. Honestly, I just don't think so. That's why I'm always like, I believe he can win the World Cup with Brazil because Brazil is a team that is ready to just, go with. It's just a team that is ready, to be molded into whatever he wants to mold them to, and they can go. But I just don't believe that, Carlo is the guy to lead this rebuild. Honestly, I don't think so.
All right, man. Like, I feel like what everyone hears what you're saying. Maybe all of the fans see it as well, but the board they just don't see other options, man. Unless they're just gonna probably wait out the whole season, even if the results are all shit. We'll see at the end of the season who comes in.
Bro, do you remember what happened when I don't know if you remember, but like Gattuso actually once joined Fiorentina, and in 20 days he left the job. I think even less than 20 days. He left the fucking job because they did not, meet what he was thinking. Why is Carlo there? One of the reasons why Carlo remains there is that obviously, yeah, this is just not a thanks to his coaching connection, but because he's a yes man. He's not gonna, tell them no, I cannot work without a striker. He's just gonna be okay. Yeah, we don't have this. Let's work with the best we have. That's the
Yep.
thing. I mean, it's just like I give you expired oranges and they say make lemonade. Of course, people are gonna get food poisoning. These are rotten lemons. What do you expect?
Man, it can probably get better than this. Like, this is not what we should have been seeing on Sunday, but you know, on to the next game. It's like it's the end of the experiment. What's done is done. I feel like Carlos gonna go back to basics. Let's get this win. So before we like head into the Real Madrid side of things, talk about more depression. Let's like look at the Las Palmas side of things. So apart from all of the losses, they won against Granada in their last game. So kind of on an upward trajectory. They've not been shipping goals. So definitely I see a potential that, these guys can really give us trouble, especially if our finishing is bad on the day. Up top, they
Yeah.
have Munir and Jonathan Vieira. Those two are the only real threats. And Munir is trying to like play his ball out, but again, like he's not a true out and out striker, right? He's just right out there trying to run in behind the defense and try to create problems. And they don't have very tall players as well to attack the box. So I feel like this should be a good game, for Alaba to regain some confidence as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I will agree with that as well. I think it's a game to not just Alaba but everyone, including us the fans as well. To gain a bit of sanity again because what happened in the derby was crazy, insane. It was. I mean, I just sat down and I was cursing, and the guys were just watching me like a movie, man. Like I mean, they weren't even watching the game. Like, I was just they were just watching me like a movie. So it was a bad one. So we actually need to come back. We need to make this runs. And I think like be like I'm repeating again. What you guys said because I listened to you guys a lot, and what you guys said after the game made a lot of sense. And it goes. I totally support what Mo was saying about the fact that a lot of our fans, especially you guys on the pod as well, you guys are so like fascinated with Jude scoring, but you guys don't understand that Jude scoring is not what we bought him for. We need him to play deeper. And actually, you pointed out as well that he played deeper and he actually created a chance, one of the few chances we had in the game. Which I think was ruled out for offside correctly eventually. I think that's what happened, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the thing. Like, I didn't pay 100 million for Jude to come and score goals. No, I paid 100 million for him to dictate matches, for him to win. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know if you guys see what I'm seeing or not. Like, somebody keeps thinking that okay, like Jude has goals in him. Yeah, I agree. But like, do you see how good Jude is like at winning the ball back? You
Yeah.
know, okay, like I mean, I
I hear your
criticized
point,
Sule for
Farooq.
saying
Like,
this in the past, but
I think a lot of fans see
we
that as
want to
well.
see
Like,
those. We want. I mean, did Norwich and Cruz, win our hearts by scoring goals constantly? No, they won by dominating matches. But so far, what has Jude Bellingham done away from scoring the goals, man? He's given some average performances, but that doesn't help him. I go back to what everyone is saying. We need to eliminate this and go back to the basics. Play Jude where he needs to play. We have to drop someone, either Fede or Kamavinga or whoever it is. Someone has to go out of that midfield. Play a flat 4-3-3. Jose Luis is the man you have. That's the hand you've been dealt. Fede has been playing as a right winger for the past 3 years, bro. Rodrigo
okay.
left winger, Fede right winger, Jose Luis as a number 9.
Here,
Easy
here,
peasy.
yeah, the logic it's and everything, it's just staring at us in our faces, right? The thing with Carlo is what he has to think about. He has to manage the squad for the whole season, right? And we are very light on attacking, so we have got to play our midfielders where we're most deep. And right now, he feels like he can't trust Joselu to get the goals. He can't trust fucking Rodrigo. And maybe when Vinny comes back, things might improve, but that's not a given, right? And he feels like the only person who can actually finish in this team is fucking Bellingham because he has like a natural striker's instinct sometimes, at least compared to the other two players playing up top. So he feels like, fuck it, man. Like, I just don't have another option. I don't care that Jude is much better deeper. I just need to get some goals. This is a temporary fix, so I'm just gonna keep playing Jude over there.
That's the thing, man. Honestly, as you said, you actually mentioned, you made a very good point earlier that the point is that with this squad, we shouldn't be getting this. Yeah, we know that we're imbalanced and what is and what is not. I keep going to this, I think with a different coach, we have a different outcome, I still feel like the team is imbalanced, but I think if we had a different coach, we will be talking about a different thing right now, honestly. I know that Carlo has been, hung out to dry with the fact that you didn't get him a striker, you didn't get him fullbacks, at least quality fullbacks, not Fran Garcia being your starting fullbacks or Lucas Vasquez, being the sub for Dan Carval, in the situations. I know that he's been hung to dry, honestly, and that's why, whatever happens this season, I don't think, anyone will pay Carlo because, I mean, my issues with Carlo were even there when he won the Champions League. So I'm not starting, to turn my back against him today, So that's the thing. But honestly, for this season, I believe any sane fan at least, would give him the that that excuse because like this is the hand he has been dealt. But honestly, I look at some of the coaches and the team that they have, man. I feel like, nah, we are not getting the best out of the team. That's the funny thing. Everyone keep talking about the fact that we're playing a diamond so we can have the best. We throw many Fede Kamavinga, bro.
Prime
Out
tiki
of all
taka.
these players, bro, out of all these players, I think only Chouameni has been, for me, in my case, playing like a proper midfielder. Kamavinga has been shit all season, bro.
Yes.
Fede has been blowing hot and cold. Jude, or if take away the goals, man, he's an average midfielder. Take away the goals, he has been average. Chouameni is the only midfielder among these four that actually has been playing, and ironically, he got dropped for the derby as well. You know, but honestly, like you're trying to maximize. That's what everyone keeps preaching to us. Oh, the diamond is here to maximize. These four young midfielders, but none of them is being maximized. None.
Yeah.
No one. No one is being maximized. I don't know. Maybe because sometimes like I have this kind of views that I understand that it's different from what a lot of people think. So I think maybe I am wrong, or maybe I don't understand football, or maybe my understanding of football is different from what people understand. I don't know, Jacob. Like, am I wrong, or like have the midfielders been balling this year, or what?
I feel like there is an ideal version of the midfield that we all have in our minds and that Carlo has in his minds as well. So this was very telling when in his post-match comments he was asked, like, what the hell was the formation in the first half, right? And he said Modric was playing as the 10 and Jude Bellingham was right up there, up top with Rodrigo. Nobody else could see it. Like, that was not the formation that was being there on the pitch. It's just that Carlo and us fans, we have like an ideal version of the team, how it should function. But these players, they don't have an idea of like how everyone else is moving, how the system is working. So it might be a matter of uh, trying this fucking diamond until it works, until the players are able to click with it, or it might be like a fucking fantasy that we'll never achieve. Only time will tell. And I feel like if it doesn't work out for a long period of time in these harder games against Napoli, again in the El Clasico, Carlo will like totally drop the diamond.
Man, we're so lucky, man. Napoli are still figuring out under Rudy Garcia, man. But if we had Spalletti and the speed that they were operating at last season, bro, I mean, they will make Atleti look like schoolboys, bro. The way they will exploit us, we are so fucking lucky, bro. Like, the Georgian Messi is down. Osimhen is sulking right now. And they are not able to
Oh,
figure out their
can you
midfield as well.
imagine
So
like a
we're
prime Osimhen against that Alaba? Man.
Oh, bro, the man will feed, man. He will. Christmas will come early for Osimhen, honestly. The match, the match will be so good that he will skip Christmas this year and be like, yeah, let's do Christmas next year. It's not for 1 year. Well, we are so. I mean, because the game is just. I think next week, if I'm not mistaken, the first leg at the Maradona. So
Mhm.
we're so lucky that Napoli is a bit out of sorts for now. Well, let's not jump the gun, and we will discuss that when we get there. But I do believe, we still should have enough for the likes of Napoli because I genuinely believe that they are not that too strong, in my opinion. Like at least this year, based on the games we've seen so far, I don't think they figured it out yet. But I think with time they can figure it out. But I said right now they haven't figured it out, so we are lucky in that sense. So we should find kind of have enough for them,
Yeah.
for that game. Hopefully, at least fingers crossed. So, but I don't know, man. Like we're talking, it's a Las Palmas preview, man. But we just keep reviewing the whole derby thing and what will happen, what
It's
will
all
not
right.
happen.
I feel like
Mm.
this was needed, especially for us and the fans to listen, to actually process the whole defeat. But, let's get back on track, and discuss about the game. But, like, to be fair, all of the teams that we face so far and the players that we face who have given us trouble, they've all been like previous Madridistas or have been. And if you look at the La Liga top scorer chart, the top eight, among the top eight, top seven have or are playing for Madrid. So That's the thing, man. These guys, they always manage to turn it on against us. And with Las Palmas, we only have one player, so that's the thing we have going for us. Do you remember a player called Marvin? He,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Zidane gave him a chance,
okay.
but he's still on the fringes over there at Las Palmas. He hasn't been able to get a starting spot or maybe even substitute appearances. Uh,
Hmm.
but this is the safest team that I feel like we're facing this season so far, and we should be able to get the job done.
Bro, I hope so, man. But the thing that actually gets me going is the fact that we're at home at the Bernabeu, so I feel like whatever happens, the boys will get the job done. But away from home, man, I will have been a bit worried because as you said, this is the at least this is the safest game we're gonna say we've played so far, and shit can hit the fan in this kind of situations, honestly, especially when you get a bit, lax, or I think if that's the word to use there. But then again, we're coming off of the back of a very shitty defeat, so I believe that the ego of the players are bruised and they want to respond, as strongly as possible. So this is one of the reasons why. But you mentioned that, but I don't know how, because like I think as you mentioned, like Las Palmas has just one victory this year, but then the defense has been really good as well. The losses have just been single digit losses as well. So and they won their last game 1-0 as well. So you never can tell, man. Like it's looking like I haven't seen any of Las Palmas again, but based on just what you read out, it's looking like this is a team that actually sit tight, and hit on the counter, as you said, typical La Liga teams. And we will be worried about, their forward, and let's not forget, like Hadidi Munir was once upon a time on the books of Barcelona as well, so there's a bit of quality there, and if memory serves me right, he's a very, very fast attacker as well. So, that's something that we have to be worried about, exploitation of space, because this is something that has happened just in the game we saw last, on Sunday. Like, as long as teams can, do those switches and, exploit and get our players isolated 1v1, they're good to go. That's the thing. And again, Carval is out again, so we don't know whether we'll really see Mendy or something like that. And people, actually criticized Mendy for the game on stuff, but I don't know what people are expecting. Like, man, he just came back from a long-term injury. He's coming into a shitty situation. You expect him all of a sudden to become the reborn of Roberto Carlos or what? I don't, obviously, like people are looking for excuses always, but we're always trying to find something to at least ease our pain. I know that, but I think Mendy is the wrong person to target. So I believe if Mendy also can come into the team, at least give a bit of solidity. As much as I want Garcia to to develop and be what he can be, but I feel like right now we are so out of shape that we need that solidity of Mendy back in the team ASAP. ASAP. I hope he can gain match fitness and eventually form.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's not looking too good, but we can get something done, man. I think Vini should be back as well this game, no?
Vini's back, yeah. He only missed the Atletico game. He didn't make the squad because he had stomach issues.
Yeah, yeah, we that's well documented, man.
Okay, but
Hopefully, man, he's also
yeah,
back.
this was
Yeah.
like a major talking point, right? The performance of Fran Garcia and then Mendy came on, right? Uh, I am of the opinion, like I know you'll have a different one. I feel like Fran Garcia has to be maximized if we have to play the diamond. If we have to ditch the diamond, fuck it, man. Let Mendy play all the games. Let him stay back. But in the diamond, we need some attacking output from our left hand side. And Vini alone, like he probably can't do it alone. But in bigger games, when he can't, we need to have some sort of attacking output over there. And I feel like Fran has to be worked into the system. We know he has his weaknesses. He's not the strongest man on defense. He doesn't do well against teams who sit back. But against these bigger teams, we need a space. So do you feel like just shutting him out of the team and just playing Mendy always is going to be good for the season overall?
Bro, so the point is this. If you want to maximize Fran Garcia, you want him to be, a marauding fullback up and down. He's going to hug the touchline and cross the ball into the box. Perfect. Who is he crossing to? Vinicius and Rodrigo?
Okay, let's go the other way.
That's
I,
that's
I,
that's point number one. Just
I,
let, let,
I,
let
I,
me
do,
let
I
me
do
let me
not have an answer for that. That is why I'm like switching the question up. So if you play Mendy there, let's say you avoid a lot of things in defense. You avoid a lot of crosses coming in. You get a good solid performance from Mendy. But how are we going to get goals with this diamond from the left hand side?
So that's the thing. Like, actually, you see, the thing is this, right? I think one of the issues that actually also Garcia has been having now is the fact that he doesn't know what to do exactly. Because what's happening is that he's occupying exactly the same spaces that Vinicius likes to occupy. Because whether you like it or not, Vinicius is a fucking out and out winger. Although they try to play him as a striker, you see he tries to still drift out, you
Mm.
know, to the left. So this is the thing, like he's occupying exactly the same spots that Vinicius is occupying. Obviously, maybe with time they learn to, cohabitate, that position similar in the past. I mean, obviously we've had, very good wingers and fullbacks. Once upon a time, Cristiano was also an out and out winger, and he played with Marcelo as well. Maybe one of the most attacking fullbacks that has ever played the game. So it's possible to have that symbiosis eventually, but this is something that will take time. But right now, unfortunately, he is coming into a situation that is just a pressure cooker that there is no time.
Yeah.
This is the issue. Like, giving that time for it to gel or for it to not gel for what's going to happen, this is the thing. But when you're asking the question of where are the goals going to come from? The goals are going to come from apparently Jude Bellingham, Vinicius, and Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, yeah.
And then if we get lucky, Freddie also chips in something here and there. But what I'm trying to say here is that although we played this diamond, Jude is the topmost player of this diamond, right?
Mhm.
When we get the ball, this, what's it called? Rodrigo drifts. Sorry, not Rodrigo. Vinicius drifts, and Jude penetrates them into the box. So this is something that eventually, as you said, like people are trying to figure the diamond out eventually. So it's something that they will have to figure out eventually. They might be the goals there, they might not be the goals there. We don't know. Only time will tell. Because right now, one thing we know for sure is that injury to personnel, and the international break and what is not, it has actually hampered the progress of what the diamond looks like. But I just kind of feel like eventually, still, in my opinion, we still just have the diamond, but there's still no clear instruction of what the diamond is. The players are trying to figure this out on their own. Hence, it goes back to my issue as well. Again, that okay, you have this interesting crop of players. Do you want this old man to lead them into the future? This is the question.
Again, like I feel like this season, like let's look at it in a vacuum, right? It doesn't look good for the squad. It's a very unbalanced squad. The least Carlo can do is try to give these players confidence. Build up the team for next season. And like you said, like this is not happening as of now. I feel like he shouldn't go for like results oriented things. Just playing Jude in his natural position. Try to gel him into the top midfielder that he can be, and worry about the goals and the wins later. Because for me, like this season is already like written off. Just judging from like the performances of the past 7 games, things can always flip on its head, and we might totally have a different outlook. But this is what I feel right now.
Yeah, I mean, the point is like right now, even our team is always going to be as it's always been, bro. Like since Carlo came on, it's going to be just if someone can top it, can eventually morph themselves into the Super Saiyan mode, then it's good to go, bro. If Vinny can just tear it up like that, he's just gonna keep doing his shit. Or if Rodrigo eventually, I do believe this honestly, that once Rodrigo starts scoring, he will keep scoring. We just need him to get into that run of 1, 2, 3 games where he scores in them. So I believe that he's gonna start scoring. So I feel like that's the thing. Like once one of those guys hits those that which vein of form, like at least from now till whatever the form eventually fades out, I think they're gonna push us somewhere. But it goes back to what you're saying. Like Carlos should not uh, go result oriented, but rather try to build for maybe next season or something like that and things like that. But this is the thing. This is not the guy for this.
Mm.
This is the thing. Honestly, this is not the person. I mean, for me personally, I will keep circling back around the same thing. I will keep circling back around the same thing. This is
It's
just the thing.
it's actually funny. Like we always consider Carlo as someone who just gets the results, just gets some players motivated, no tactics, right? He used to be this really tacticful coach, and until like he coached Zinedine Zidane, then that was the turning point. I feel like he realized that Zidane was like too good for his tactics, trying to show on Zidane into the team. So he just let Zidane express himself, and he reaped the benefits of that. And after that, he saw Zidane's like I guess stints at Madrid and felt like, fuck, I just need to like motivate these players and they'll do all the talking on the pitch. I don't need to do anything. And he's just gotten too comfortable with that and he's forgotten where he came from. But yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, the one thing I will say is that, like, Carlo is a coach that has proven himself to be, whenever you have a stacked team that is almost impossible to coach, Carlo is your guy.
Yeah.
And he is the best person to get something out of those guys. Whenever you have a stacked team, Carlo is your guy. So the point is, in that case, then it's easy for him, to walk through with younger players and stuff like that. But right now, is our team stacked? I don't think so.
So,
You know, because our team, I don't think it's stacked. So that goes against, a lot of things that Carlo has done in the past or something like that. But again, it's not, just about Carlo alone. It's also about, the direction that the club wants to go in, as well. Because the point is, there was a possibility of looking. I mean, okay, yeah, maybe they might say, like, from a business point of view, it doesn't make a lot of sense to invest in a 30-year-old. But Harry Kane is as sure as goals comes. When I mean, I don't think there's maybe Erling Haaland is the only sure thing that you can find on the market when it
and
comes to goals.
he's the only striker who's like the most similar to Karim Benzema as well. So you wouldn't even have to switch around the team too
Exactly.
much.
Yes, sir. This is just the thing, it's just a plug and play system. But this has happened. But let's forget about all of this. This is hindsight. Like, there's nothing that can change at least from now to January. I don't think anything changes in January. So from now, let's just see till the summer. Nothing changes, and this is what we have. But the question now becomes this, which I find very interesting, which we made a point. He doesn't trust Osilo to score the goals. When the system wasn't fucking working, who came on at halftime? Fucking Osilo. Then why not just start the man in the first place?
Like Sunaid was in the
This is the
comments. He
thing.
was
Go back to the four three
like
three, bro.
nobody understands, man. Like this guy just overthinks these bigger games, and he just decides like today is the time I'm gonna run my experiment. Even if the team was playing really good in the all of the last few games, I'm just gonna try something new because I feel like this is gonna work tactically, and he has gotten it wrong on a few occasions now.
I mean, because the point is, we still play, and that's quite interesting. We still play with this diamond formation, even when Marcelo and Rodrigo were starting.
Yep.
In the games against Sociedad, in the Champions League game, and what is and what is not. We still played this. Why? Just go back to the flat 4-3-3 and get the best out. I mean, Jude has been playing in a 4-3-3 since he was 17, bro.
Yep.
Calvin has been playing this for here and for France. Chouameni is saying, like, this is something that these guys know. At least that way, even if you don't support them with tactical instructions, at least obviously they are tactics there, but like they're just not detailed automations there. Even when you don't create these detailed automations, the guys can figure it out themselves. But then when you put them into unfamiliar territory and you give them vague tactics, there is no automations and there is nothing else. They have to figure that as that's asking a lot of things. I don't know what they do in training, obviously, because like I'm not watching the training and shit like that. Maybe they see something different there. But it's kind of, I don't know, man. It's so just difficult. I feel like it's something so straightforward, but they turn it into rocket science. It's just like those African politicians when they come and meet you. Oh, you cannot understand how difficult it is. I mean, you have one job, just dig a hole of, borehole of water and provide clean water to your people. They'll be like, no, it's so difficult. You cannot understand this. They'll come and start throwing to you bogus nonsense.
Right,
That's
right.
the thing. Like, it's so
I feel like
crazy, bro.
what you're insinuating is that Carlos being too much of a politician instead of like, going back to the basics and trying to keep everyone happy. Because that's probably what happened on Sunday, right? He was trying to keep his old guard happy. It was like he heard Modric and Kroos saying like, "We're not getting enough time, coach. Like, we're not getting enough starts." And he basically said, "Okay, guys, like, I trust you guys. You've been there from the beginning. Let's just go with you." Like, apart from that, there's no reason he should have started Modric.
Bro. Honestly, I don't think that was Modric's fault, bro.
Mm.
I mean, Modric was thrown into an impossible situation, bro. I don't think that was Modric's fault, bro. And I still do genuinely believe Modric and Cruz can start together, especially if they're supported by Chouameni, Camavinga, or Fede Valverde. With Jude as well. I do believe these two players can start together if they're supported with any of these two of the four young midfielders. I genuinely believe they can start together. But the point is, they have to be the right conditions for that as well.
No, like the bare minimum is they have to be in this like the position that they are meant to play in, not fucking striker or false nine or scam. My God.
I mean, come on! Finally, we're starting to think that fucking Chouameni is a bargain. Honestly, that's the belief I start to have because I was always of the fact that we were fleeced the same way Liverpool was fleeced with Darwin Nunes. I always felt like we both were fleeced in the same window. But honestly, like considering what's happened, with the players that have been moving across the past 18 months and the performances that Traoré is finally showing, on a more consistent basis, I kind of felt like we're starting to feel like, oh, that's a real bargain there.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, bro, the guy is benched. Why? Because he needs to rest.
What a joke. What
Left
a
for
joke.
fucking Las Palmas, bro. Left for fucking Las Palmas, bro.
Yeah, nobody understands it, but you know, politician does as politician is asked to do from the higher ups.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Scott Hynam is here. He says, need to have Vinny on the wing where he thrived in the past. Yeah, that's what we've been saying for the whole podcast. Go back to the basics. Go back to the fucking 4-3-3. Go with the players you have. Try to drop one of the players. Don't be a politician.
I mean, that's the thing, Vini worked so hard to become arguably the best winger in the world. And all of a sudden you're asking him to reinvent himself. How fair is that?
It's not fair.
Because
But
I always ask this. If you remember, like I continuously ask this question: what do you want from Vini? The man already has 40 plus goals, assists, and contribution. Do you want him to get to 60, bro? How many people get to 60? I mean, we want him to start hitting Ronaldo Messi numbers. Okay, then. I mean, if that's the case, then that's a whole different ballgame. But no one can hit Ronaldo Messi numbers, bro.
and those teams were stacked. It's like this is a team who cannot like like support Vinny attacking wise at least. If he has to put in 60 goals, it's gonna be like a miracle, and I don't think anybody sees it coming.
That's the thing. That's the thing, bro. That's the thing. So it's unfair. I totally agree with Scott, man. Like, I mean, just put Beanie where he is the best. At least worst case scenario, something will work because you know for sure what Vinny will give you. At least that's one thing. But right now, we don't know what is working in this team. Nothing. The
Yep.
offense is not working. The defense has not been good. But now, because the offense is not working, the deficiencies of the defense is only excavated, bro. It becomes more significant. The point is our defense was never good. Like let's not deceive ourselves. But what's happening now is that because our offense is not working as well, the defense is also the deficiency of the defense is magnified.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro. Crazy, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we can like go about discussing Carlo and like the amount of shitouts he does in these sort of games and over the whole season. But it's gonna be a never-ending conversation. So you know what? Let's like get into the lineups. Just finish this podcast and go see a fucking good game tomorrow and come back happy.
Hopefully, bro. Hopefully, fingers crossed, man. Hopefully, bro.
But anyway, speaking about which, like, is there any point to like doing lineups anymore? Like, ah,
I mean, you saw for the derby that there is point, bro. You never can tell, man. Carlo will just decide, okay, yeah, today, yeah, let's play Kepa as a number 9 and see what happens.
mm,
You never can tell.
right?
So
I
there is
mean,
a point. You mentioned.
yeah. Let's approach the lineups in a different way. Let's change what the starters from the game on Sunday. So, who would you replace for Las Palmas?
I think Modric for Joselo, I think is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, Modric for Joselo is the first and only one. And then maybe I might contemplate playing Ferland Mendy for Frank Garcia. But I think because I'm starting Joselo, I would choose to keep Frank Garcia, honestly.
To be honest, like,
Sorry, there is Chouameni. My bad. Sorry. There's
oh,
Chouameni as well. I need
Chouameni.
to throw Chouameni in there.
So Cruz also out.
And I will put. No, man, I'm not putting Cruz out. I'm keeping Cruz in, bro.
Okay.
But I'm not sure who to take out, either Freddy or Camavinga, but I will take Camavinga out because why? Because I want to play a 4-3-3 with Freddy on the right wing. But otherwise, either Freddy or Camavinga could will go.
Okay.
So, like, I mean, for me, like, what I believe is, like, that midfield just has to have Tchouaméni and Jude Bellingham in there, okay? Those two guys have to be there because, like, you paid 100 million for Jude, like, for that reason, he has to be there. And Tchouaméni he's at least looking like a player that is the one that, looks irreplaceable in that midfield at least. So every other player is just fair game, bro.
Right. I mean, for this game, I feel like the Las Palmas are just gonna sit back. They're basically gonna play a 9-1 formation with Munir just keeping our boys company at the back. So for me, Nacho has to start at CB. And we can push Alaba out on the wings at left back. He can put those crosses in for Joselu to get on the end of our Bellingham maybe even. Yeah, and I'm just gonna take Kamavinga off. I feel like we really need Cruz. He's like undroppable in this game for me. Chaumini can play, Fede can play, or Kamavinga can play there. It doesn't matter. But we need Chaumini and Cruz.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Like the price of Traoré and Cruz. But I didn't hear you talk about Joselu, bro.
Joselu, I mean, yeah, man, like, of course. Where else are the goals gonna come from?
Because you talk about crosses, bro. If you're gonna cross, who are you gonna cross to, bro?
Yeah, obviously, like if Alaba is playing at
Rodrigo?
left back. No, not Rodrigo. So, are we actually dropping Rodrigo for this game if Vinny is back?
Ah, that's true actually. Then if that's the case, bro, like if Vini's back, then Fede is out of the team as well. Play Rodrigo as well, bro, because incisiveness is needed, bro. I mean, we don't. I don't think in this game there's gonna be a lot of defending to do anyways. So I think Fede can get out of the team as well. As much as I like Fede already, but right now we just need to go back to the basics, bro. And if the club already spent 100 million on Jude, it means that that's obviously it tells us where the priorities are and who is the favored midfielder among all of these guys. So for me, we just need to go back to the basics. Honestly, I really don't, care who starts or who does not start, man. We just need to go back to seeing something's happening. Because before, we at least we knew that combination between Benz and Vini was there, but right now there is zero, absolutely zero. Vinicius before he got injured was looking like a lost man. Rodrigo even worse. Jude is there, okay, yeah, being in the right place at the right time, but I didn't spend 100 million to get another average midfielder. If I wanted an average midfielder, Dani Ceballos is in the squad, bro. We need someone that is gonna, dominate midfield and take the game, take the reins over in the games. So that's the thing. We need to, start seeing a bit of, performances from these players. Like even if it's individual performances, I am totally down for that, bro. Even if we don't have, because we've not had team performances for years, bro. So even if it's like individual performances, I'm totally down for that. But right now, nothing is just working, bro. It's just a game of chance and game of chance and game of chance, man.
Hey, okay. I guess we have the lineups. I mean, I have a lot of like doubts about this lineup as well. The thing is, I have seen Joselu play in a 4-3-3 in preseason.
Yeah.
It was not pretty. I honestly felt like at that point the Diamond was better, working much better because Jude was really exciting at that point. He was actually working as a forward at that point. Right now, I feel like he has lost a bit of that edge. He's just been lucky at the right time. But in preseason and in the early first two games, he was actually getting on the end of it. He was actually making things happen as a striker or more than a cam. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, I feel like we have a strong lineup with Cruz, Chaumeni, Vinny over there, and even Carvajal is back. So that's a major addition as well.
Is Carvajal back? I
Yeah,
think Carvajal was back for the Napoli game.
he's back in
Or is he
training.
back for this game?
He's back in training fully. Not sure if he's gonna start, but I feel like he is gonna feature.
Okay, good. Oh, that's good as well. That's good.
Yeah, I mean he's been one of our best players this season, so that can only help, right?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, but that again, it goes back. If we're gonna have, the Carvajal and the guys in the team, we need to, provide them with that presence. And right now, the only presence we have is Soselo, bro. So that's why it is, whether they like it or not. I think there is the option is just to start this guy, honestly, to
Yep.
start this guy and start him and just, yeah, I know he's not good enough, and everyone knows that. No one is contesting that, but this is what you have.
Yep.
you know, rather than, I mean, let the coaches who are inventions do the inventions, man. Let the Peps and the clubs and the Contes, let these guys create their own invention, man. I mean, calma, bro. You can even, the 4-4-3 even has to work out with, Benzema playing hero ball, and you want to, all of a sudden in the middle of your retirement age, you want to create something new. Calma, bro. There is no need for this. Tranquilo, senor. Tranquilo.
Tranquilo, yeah. Right, man. Right, let's just go to the predictions, man. Let's just end this. I feel like we've been rambling a lot. We've been speaking our minds, but I really needed this. This is like almost therapy for me. Hope the people listening were like totally tuned in as well. But yeah, let's get into the predictions. What's the scoreline for you looking like?
Yeah, before we get to the predictions, if there's anyone listening, so about the football, content award, it's football content award, right? If I'm not mistaken, yeah, football content awards. So the finalists have been announced, and we are happy that we are in the two categories. So firstly, we want to say thank you to everyone who voted for us, because without your nominations, we never would have gotten into the finalists. So now we're competing with 9 other people, and we want to fly the white flag of Real Madrid in front of the Premier League fans, in England, like at Anfield, where the our ceremony is going to be held. So it will be fantastic, if you guys can repeat just the process. I know it's a bit annoying, because like, why do I have to vote 2 times, shit like that. But it's understandable, the frustration. But we just request you guys humbly. I think the links are in the description below. You can find the Instagram links or the website links, whichever one suits you the best. You just have to tag us at Let's Be Real 1902 on Instagram. Or even when you go to the website, similar thing. You just have to tag us there as well.
Oh no, like
Please,
in
please,
the
please. We
website,
are
it's
being
it's
too.
a couple of drop downs that you get to. So they're listed on two of the categories: the best content, club content creator, and the best international podcast.
Okay, guys, you heard it. The best content creator and best international podcast category. So yeah, but for both of them, you can tag us either on Instagram, or you can select us from the drop down in the websites of the Football Content Awards. So please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Again, I'm repeating myself. I know it's annoying, but I can understand the frustration. But we just need to see this over the line, boys. Like, we've come this far to not see this over. So yeah, please just hit the likes, subscribe to our channels, vote for us, just the usual shebang, man, the usual shebang. So Jacob, we can continue with you then.
Yeah, man. Let's like go to the predictions. Like for me, think I'm gonna see a 3-0 at the Bernabeu. The players are gonna be itching to make a statement, make a comeback, saying they're not like done. The season is not done. It's just still early games. So 2 goals from Vini, 1 from Bellingham.
Ooh, 2 Vini goals. Interesting. Yeah, bro, I agree with the number of goals scored, but I think we're gonna concede. I think it's gonna be a 3-1 game. So I think it's going to be a 3-1 game, but I think it's going to be a game, where we show some cojones, and eventually we have a dominating and the first dominating performance of the season, and I really look forward to that. Hopefully, the Carlo doesn't, again, just give us the middle finger, because I think at this point that's what's happening.
Yeah, there is no other explanation. Right then,
Yeah.
I guess since you already handle like all of the football content awards, guys, please do vote. I know there's like 7 of you here watching us right now. As soon as the podcast is over, please go ahead and vote. Just tag us in the Instagram. Okay, and Hassan is actually saying 3-0. Who in the hell is gonna score? Hassan, like my whole 3-0 hypothesis is based on the fact that Vinny is back, and I hope that he does some kind of magic to totally revive this attack. If he doesn't start, I really don't think we can score that much against this Las Palmas side, who defend very, very well. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, man. I guess to end the podcast, thank you for all of the listeners who are here. If you're listening from Spotify, do come and check out your description as well. You have the links over there in Spotify as well. Please go and vote for us. And check us out on our YouTube and our Instagram. We have some really cool content on here as well. Give us a like, give us a follow. And yeah. And last but not the least, let's like take the moment to thank our partners over at Real Madrid Committee, who have some really good content on their as on their Instagram. So yeah, thank you folks for all your support. And without further ado, you know what to say, Farouk.
Hala Madrid!
Hala Madrid.
Oh, and the game is tomorrow, actually. Because the game tomorrow, I think, also is by 6 or something.